Hello, hello. After a short break, I'm back, this time with a bit more experience from using a travel art kit on holiday. This was actually only my second time using one. The first time, I packed far too much and ended up not using most of it. So this time, I tried to keep things more minimal, but clearly not quite enough. It was beautiful and I spent a lot of time exploring. But I realized I still hadn't fully thought through what to bring to make the most of it. I did learn a few things though, and I would like to share them with you. So, I will start with what I took with me. Of course, the sketchbook is the most important part. I brought a small one that's already been with me on a few trips, and also a handmade one to try out. When I work with mixed media, deciding what to pack is never easy. It always feels like everything might come in handy. But at the same time, the more I bring, the more space I need to actually use it, and that's not always possible. I thought this kit was quite minimal and would be practical, and in many ways it was. But as it turned out, it wasn't as easy to use as I expected for this kind of trip. This kit would have been perfect for a slower trip, something less intense, less rushed, and with adults who are a bit more patient. On this trip, I really wanted to visit museums and see as much as possible. I only used the hotel for sleeping and meals. The rest of the time, I was out exploring, even driving to places within an hour to an hour and a half distance. Time was the priority, so there simply wasn't a chance to sit down somewhere quiet and paint. Lesson learned. It's not about how much I bring, it's about whether I have the time and the space to actually use it. This is just a simple pencil case, not the most durable, but it's transparent, so I can quickly find what I need without taking everything out. The Royal Talents Art Creation sketchbook is a great size for me. It's 12 by 12 centimeters with 140 GSM paper. I prefer square sketchbooks over landscape ones because when you open them, you naturally get a wider format across both pages. It's small, compact, and doesn't take up much space. This is a sketchbook I made myself and I wanted to see how it would work as a travel sketchbook. It's 11.5 by 15.5 centimeters with hot pressed cotton watercolor paper. It's a really nice size and I really enjoyed using it for mixed media. The Arteza water brushes are really well made, but they are quite long, about 18 centimeters. I'm not sure if they are still available, but I'm glad I have them. They don't leak, they have a good sized water reservoir, and the nylon bristles feel really nice to use. Watch my video on why it's worth using distilled water with brushes like this. This sharpener is great for both thicker pencils and standard ones, but it's quite bulky because of the container. I also brought a tiny sharpener in a small box. To be honest, I usually keep it together with my kneaded eraser, but I wanted to show it anyway. So if you are not using pencils with a larger diameter, a small setup like this one can be really compact. This is standard medical waterproof paper tape, which I like because it's a neutral color. I used this sweatband to clean my brushes when I didn't have access to paper towel or tissues. Just a simple paper clip. I like this design because it doesn't leave marks on soft delicate cotton paper, unlike standard clips which can easily leave dents. I packed 3 of my favorite pens, but I only ended up using one. This UB 155 Uniball Micro Deluxe pen is waterproof and archival. This is a very popular big pen. I think everyone knows it. It's great for drawing and it has several colors in one, which makes it really versatile. You can find this pen from many sellers on Amazon, but I believe they all came from the same factory in China. It's waterproof, has a 0.35mm tip, and works really well for sketching with a smooth ink flow. I love it. I also brought pencils with me. This one, Kohinoor, is quite short, about 11.5 centimeters with a 2mm HB lead and built-in sharpener. I really like it because I can extend the lead and adjust how I hold it, which makes it more comfortable and gives me more flexibility when sketching. Next one is also Kohinoor, pencil with a 0.3mm B lead and a built-in eraser. It's a very fine and quite dark. I love using it for hatching, but also for small details. It's also very lightweight, especially compared to the well-known Pentel pencil, which feels much heavier in hand. This one has a 2B lead 0.7mm. It's really well balanced, but is it actually a good choice for a travel kit? I think the small Kohinoor pencil would have been more than enough if I would limit myself to just a pencil and a sketchbook. A blending tool, a bit different from paper one. This is the kind I can wash. Inktense pencils, I wanted to give them a chance, which is why I took them with me, but in the end I didn't use them. For some reason, they just don't draw me in or inspire me to reach for them. I've talked about my reasons in another video, so I will link it there if you would like to hear more. Polychromos pencils, I took a few colors, mainly the ones I like to sketch with. Colors like May green and white were mainly for adding details in my mixed media work, and I also used some darker colors for sketching. Other colors are Caput Mortuum Violet, Bluish Turquoise, Ultramarine, and Dark Indigo. I also took some more vibrant luminance colored pencils like Moss Green, Medium Cadmium Yellow, Scarlet, Cornelian, Purplish Red, and Chrysocolla Blue. Of course, you can find the full list of materials used in this video in the description below. I also wanted to take some water-soluble graphite, but I decided a water-soluble graphite pencil would be more versatile. This one is the Kohinoor Progresso. I also included watercolors in my kit, a custom set of colors that gives me a lot of flexibility. I fixed the half pans in place with blue tack, and I added a small piece of sponge in the empty space, which I can use to wipe my brush or control the amount of water on it. The palette isn't perfect, but it has nice shape and holds a good amount of colors. It's a set of 12 colors, including titanium white from Core, Naples yellow and Arolin from Sennelier, transparent yellow, Winsor red, burnt sienna, smalt, Antwerp blue, and Pines grey from Winsor & Newton, as well as magenta rose, turquoise, and ultramarine from Rosa Gallery. I also made room for 6 Neocolor crayons. I choose lighter pastel shades because they are great for adding final details. They are not ideal for building a base layer though, as they leave a waxy surface that makes it harder for other media to stick, whether they are used dry or with water. Watercolor brushes. I don't have anything fancy or expensive here, but these are more than enough for my needs, and I don't feel the need to change them. I have a size 2 from Jackson's Art, a Tintoretto size 6. I like this one. And a Pro Arte Midas Touch flat brush. Overall, these 3 brushes make a really good set. The Tintoretto is very versatile, it holds water and pigment well, so I can use it for larger areas. I often use the flat brush for more geometric shapes or for painting water. And the other one from Jackson's Art is absolutely great for details. The only thing is, as you can see, the Tintoretto needs to be slightly wet to close it properly. All of them have small holes at the end of the handles so they can dry properly. My sketchbook is covered in stickers to make it feel more inviting and a bit less serious. At the back there's a small pocket for little bits and pieces. You never know when they might come in handy. On the first page, I added a printed image, a few stickers and some craft paper just to get rid of that intimidating blank page. And now is the time to show you what I created, or maybe to slightly embarrass myself. This is a simple, quick pencil sketch of the Drapano's Hill. At its base, you can see houses and vegetation nicely nestled into the landscape. It's a very pleasing view, even in bad weather. Next, some very quick, few-minute colored pencil sketches of people relaxing at the bar on a hot afternoon. What's funny is that a year earlier I was sketching people by a pool in Spain, and whether it's a coincidence or not, I can see some clear similarities. And this is a pen drawing that took me about 10, maybe 15 minutes while we were waiting for a delayed departure on the way back. Next sketchbook, and only 2 pieces in it, as I simply didn't have enough time to paint or set everything up. I'm glad we had 2 days with bad weather. The first one is a view of a river with a very unusual color flowing into the sea. I have no idea where that color came from, but luckily I have a footage because I don't think anyone would believe me otherwise. It's the Kiliaris River in Greece. The second piece is the lighthouse in Hania at the Venetian harbor, which didn't turn out very well. Luckily, I have photos and footage from this beautiful place on different days and in different weather. So I have something to come back to for inspiration during long winter evenings. It was a great trip, but my art kit was definitely too big. For this kind of travel, where everything moves quickly, I should probably stick to just a sketchbook, a pencil, and a pen. With this kind of piece, it probably makes more sense to focus on filming and taking photos. That said, I still think this kit works really well for slower settings, like going out in my local area, a park, or a forest, where I can take more time to observe and get lost in the process. What do you think? What does your art kit look like, and how has it changed over time? What have you learned along the way? Feel free to share. It's always valuable to hear different experiences. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!